All right. Hello, folks. What's going on? This is your boy, Dr. Mafuni, back with the second part of our Godzilla podcast. Today, we're going to talk about my second favorite Godzilla movie. In Japan, it's called The Return of Godzilla. And in the United States, it's called Godzilla 1985. It debuted in the theaters of August 23rd, 1985. And it was distributed by New World Pictures. I'm not exactly sure if it made a lot of money, but nonetheless, it came over here to American theaters. And to the cult following of the Godzilla fans, they were pretty much happy about that. You know what I mean? I really think it's a great movie. I remember seeing the trailer to this when I was a little kid, and I think I was about 7 years old. And this movie, the trailer at that time scared the living crap out of me because remember, the prior years I was used to seeing these Godzilla movies, and they were all like happy, kid friendly, drop kicks and fire breaths and all these monsters fighting around all over the place and cool plots and really adventurous stuff. But Toho took it back to the first one, so everything that happened after the first 1954 movie never happened. So they skipped all that stuff and then went straight to the 1984/85 movie, and they brought Godzilla back to his menacing roots, a threat to mankind. And I thought the movie was basically incredible. There was a bigger budget, great color, good color scheme to it. Some of the actors I did not know of whatsoever, so all this is new to me. So being as though this was a bigger budget, and at that time everything looked really real, I said, man, how is Godzilla is going to look? You know what I mean? So let's get into some facts really quick. Let me see. This film was produced by Toho, obviously. Special effects were done by Mr. Terushi Nakano. I'm not really too great with pronouncing Japanese names, so help me out here. It was starring Steve Martin, because Steve Martin inserted his scenes into the American edit Godzilla 1985 movie, and he reprised his role as Mr. Raymond Burr, because Raymond Burr was part of the first movie and basically did the same thing, so on and so forth. So there were some memorable characters in here. The guy who played Goro Maki, the gentleman by the name of Ken Tanaka, and the Dr. Hayashida. He was played by a gentleman by the name of Yosuke. I think Yosuke, not Natsuki. I think that's how you pronounce his name. And then obviously Goro Maki's sister. Great movie, you know what I mean? Okay, so moving on. So I'm in a little faculty with the rest of the kids and stuff like that, and one of the teachers said, today we're going to watch Godzilla. I said, wow, really? Yeah, she said we're going to watch some Godzilla. I said, I guess because she knew that I liked the monster a lot, so okay. Turned the lights out, put the VHS tape in, music came on, and all you hear was, and I said, what in the world is this? I'm thinking, I want to hear some funny stuff and, something silly. And I said, good Lord, this seems really, really serious. So the movie came on, the first scenes, opening scenes, here comes the ship in the water, nighttime, crazy waves and stuff like that. I said, this is really some serious stuff. So then, they were talking and stuff like that, and then they showed the island, And I said, okay, there's an island, and all of a sudden, lightning strikes coming up, and the island started to move, and the waves got really rocky. And I said, what in the world is going on here? So all of a sudden, this big, gigantic rock just rolls slowly from that island, and Godzilla let out that mighty roar, and it was loud as crap. And it wasn't the high-pitched roar that I was really used to. This was the deep, brooding, menacing roar. I said, whoa, this doesn't sound like a friendly Godzilla at all. You know what I mean? So at that time, as a 7-year-old kid, I stood up at attention like, okay, this is really serious. So the movie went on, the characters were being introduced and stuff like that, so on and so forth. The tone was really set in a serious manner, and then all of a sudden, fast forward, I guess this prison guard, not a prison guard, he was a guard on duty, guarding a nuclear facility, heard these footsteps and stuff like that, and bam, he walked right into Godzilla, and all Godzilla's glory, I mean directly in front of him. And at that time, we've never seen anybody standing in front of that huge creature, and the way they did the effects at that time was really incredible. And the camera slowly panned up to Godzilla as he let out that mighty roar, and I was like, scared the crap out of me. You know what I mean? It really scared the crap out of me. I said, yo, this movie is crazy. So Godzilla attacks the power plant, and we found out that the creature or the monster or the reptilian feeds off of nuclear energy because he was made by he was mutated by nuclear testing. So I said, oh, that's really interesting. And then they goes on to say that the Godzilla character is a living nuclear weapon capable of causing mass destruction. So this is one of the first movies that we got really deeper into the Godzilla creature and started to learn of, like, not his origins, but like what he actually eats and what he actually is and stuff like that. So it gives us some light on this creature, and I thought it was really, really great. So fast forward, Godzilla attacks a nuclear sub. The government officials came around. They said, okay, what we want to do? The creature could attack Russia. The creature could attack the United States. So they had this panel meeting of all the countries combined, and one of the American ambassadors suggested that they use nuclear weapons on Godzilla in a Tokyo facility. Now think about this, you know what I mean? And this is during the time when the Cold War was going on between the Americans and the Russians. I mean, there was some high tensions during that time. So the Prime Minister of Japan was like, hey, look, this is wrong. How would you like it if we come over there to your country and start dropping nuclear bombs on you? How would you like it? How would it make you feel? So, they backed down on this, and Japan was like, listen, y'all stay back, we got this. If we need y'all, we'll let you know. You know what I mean? So, okay, cool. Fast forward, Godzilla rises from the sea because the Japanese military are patrolling the Pacific area. They're trying to find out where he is. He pops up. He takes out some planes. He dips back into the sea, moves forward, rises out of the water, and he's met at Tokyo Bay by like a long line of military defense forces, planes, giant cannons, maser, rockets, you name it. They threw everything but the kitchen sink at this dude, and Godzilla didn't even faze him. And this is during the time, I mean, this is one of those scenes where a lot of the military weaponry had no effect on Godzilla, didn't even slow him down. He just acted like he didn't even feel it, which made, to me, when I was a little kid, made him even more scary. I'm like, how are you going to stop this thing? So they fail. Godzilla uses his breath and just blows the whole place up like in a line. The sight was incredible. One of the most iconic fire breath scenes that we've ever seen in a Godzilla film at that time. And I want to keep in mind, folks, that Godzilla was twice as big as he was in this movie than the 1954 movie. He was about 60 meters tall in the 1954 movie, But in the 1984 movie, they bulked him up to 80 meters tall, and he was twice as big. So this Godzilla was like, at that time, was the biggest one yet. Not to mention his roar was extremely horrifying. So Godzilla takes out the military and he marches on to Tokyo. So the government reveals that they have something called the Super X machine, and it's capable of withstanding like extreme heat blasts. So they said, okay, we're going to send out the Super X to fight Godzilla. So they do, and they tricked Godzilla into opening his mouth because they shot him with cadmium missiles. So they shot a flare in the air and he roared. That's when they shot him with the cadmium missiles. So it was meant to neutralize him. So they succeeded. Godzilla falls into the building. He goes nighty-night. Everybody thinks he's dead. You know, we're all thinking that he's dead. You know what I mean? Like, probably stopped him. So, you know, obviously that really didn't work, because lightning came, struck him, brought him back to life, and he's super pissed off, and now he's looking for the Super X. Finds the Super X, hit the Super X with his atomic breath blast. Super X goes down, and Godzilla dumps a whole freaking building on top of it, and then lets out this really slow, menacing deep roar. And another thing I want to touch on about this movie, that what made this movie so epic for me was simply the music. The music in this movie was so freaking fly. I like this movie so much. I was so inspired by the music of this movie that I actually made beats on there, and you can probably hear some adaptation of that in the background. The music was done by Mr. Rogerio. Once again, I can't pronounce Japanese names correctly, so forgive me. Rogerio Kuro. And actually, I have the whole Godzilla 84 soundtrack over to my right in my CD collection. And I made a bunch of beats off there. So to the brother, thank you so much for that music, man. You did a really incredible job. And also the gentleman did music for some video games too, which he did a really incredible job for. Alright, so back to the movie. They found out that Godzilla is attracted to I think a high frequency pitch, like birds chirping. He has something called a conditioned response, because after all, he's an animal, so he's not exactly all that smart. So they use this frequency. They lure him back to a specific island where they set off these detonator charges in a baby volcano, and they lure him back to the island. He gets there. They set off the detonator charges. He falls into the volcano. He lets out a scream, and the sad music came on. Once again, Mr. Rogerio Kuro score is just unforgettable. And then Steve Martin go ahead and just close it out with his famous narration, which everybody knows, whatever the case. So, to all my Godzilla fans out there, if you're a fan, go ahead and check this movie out. I think it's really, really great. Real rad. So yeah, guys, let me know your favorite Godzilla movie in the comments below. Don't forget to share, like, and subscribe. This is your boy, Dr. Mufuni, with another podcast, and we're going to move on with Shin Godzilla. That'll be our next podcast, and that came out in 2017. All right, so thank you very much, folks. Enjoy.